Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Drive-thru, the first and only review show podcast thingy that takes place in the car. Why the car? Well, because it's my job to talk about stupid crap like TV shows, movies, video games. But also, I got places to go. So, let's just try something, shall we? I guess the one thing I really wanted to talk about for a long time was the new Tom and Jerry Meet Willy Wonka, or Go to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory plus Tom and Jerry. I don't know.
Get ready for an all-new original movie. Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Original movie.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Everyone's talking about this thing. Everyone's reviewing the hell out of this thing. And then, it kind of deserves its attention. There's a ton of faces that have come out of this that have popped up on all sorts of social media. They've just... the animation quality is... versatile is a word to say without insulting any poor 2D animators that are clinging on to their dear lives in this industry. But I think it's more important to understand how actually we got here at this point, because this is not the first Tom and Jerry meet someone else famous kind of thing. It kind of more or less started in the early 2000s when Tom and Jerry started doing their own little movies with the Magic Ring and stuff like that. That's the earliest one I could think of, Tom and Jerry and the Magic Ring. That being said, they limped along, using that old IP, those old Hanna-Barbera IPs. They only break out the Hanna-Barbera IP now whenever they want to just advertise Hanna-Barbera. They bought Cartoon Network. Well, Turner bought all the old Hanna-Barbera library along with MGM, and then they bought Warner Brothers and Time Warner and all that. It's complicated, but the point is that they only break out these, like the Flintstones and stuff like that whenever they want to advertise stuff like that. Now, I think this all originally started, what was it? It was an original movie. It was like Tom and Jerry meet, I don't want to say Sherlock Holmes because I know that was the second one. It was more like Tom and Jerry meet, it was Tom and Jerry meet Robin Hood, Tom and Jerry in the Magic Fairy Tale Land. I don't know. I'm going to have to look this up post-podcast and throw it up there. But the point is that before this, there were kind of original stories involving just Tom and Jerry slapped in the middle of it. Like I said, Tom and Jerry meets Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if that movie, the plot of that movie, involving mirrors and ray guns and weird stuff like that, but I thought it was an original, nice story. And they did the same thing with Robin Hood. Again, Robin Hood's in the public freaking domain, so you can do anything you want with him. You don't need to follow any one story. And again, it's a pretty basic story. Maid Marian is captured by King Richard and Sheriff of Nottingham and whatnot. So that was fine. And then you've got Tom and Jerry meet the Wizard of Oz. And now, this is where it gets weird, because when I turned that on, it was on Cartoon Network one night, and I was watching it. I was like, okay, well, what is this? And it was literally Tom and Jerry with the Wizard of Oz, with them slapped on the Wizard of Oz. And it was weird. It's just for beat, it was just the Wizard of Oz with Tom and Jerry having their little side stories. Sometimes they would go away from Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and all that, and they would have their own little adventure. Pardon me, I gotta turn lanes. So that was weird. And then they went back to Tom and Jerry Go to Fairy Tale Land, which I thought was okay, well, Tom and Jerry and the Wizard of Oz, that was some weird fluke. It was really just the movie. They even have dialogue from the movie in it.
You humbug.
Yeah!
I'm afraid you're right. I am a humbug.
So, yeah, that's just... I thought that was the outlier, because the next one following that was Tom and Jerry Go to Fairyland, and they meet Red, which, whew, oh boy. They got, it's, if Tex Avery were alive today, then he'd give his stamp of approval on all the stuff they did with Red there. But this latest one doesn't actually feature Red in it, which is odd because she's usually been an installment in every single one of these movies. It's actually kind of the highlight of every single one of these movies. She's not included in this. I mean, I don't think there wouldn't be a part for her to be in this. And I guess Dorothy, does Dorothy count? I mean, she's played by the same voice actress, Gray Delisle, Gray something else now. And again, it's the movie. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Tom and Jerry doing their little side adventures sometimes. And that's how we got here. It's like, and now we're all wondering, where do we go from here? Because that's owned by Warner Brothers. We don't know exactly what IP Tom and Jerry will pop up in next. It's like, what could you do? I mean, it's Warner Brothers. They're basically doing the whole Lego universe thing. I think that's them. I think that's what they did. Because they yeah. In fact, that ruined Batman. That ruined Lego Batman. For those who don't know, spoilers. But at the end of Lego Batman, Joker gets sent to the Phantom Zone. He escapes the Phantom Zone. And for some reason, at the end, all of, like, the major Warner Brothers villains from, like, the last 20 years, the lucrative ones, the money-making ones, like Voldemort and Sauron, and just, they were all in the Phantom Zone. What, Superman met these people? Is the Phantom Zone, oh god, Dark World? Not Dark World. I'm trying to think of that place in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll throw it up. Yeah, that just, it's like we're at the point where, like, fan fiction is taking over actual movies. But I'm just saying, it's a little, hold on. I missed my turn. Sorry! Oh, yeah, that's right. The f***ing suicide lane. Oh, and here's one thing. I guess it isn't beat for beat, because for some reason they gave the villain, Slugworth, I think that's his name. They gave him a song for some reason, because I guess the villain needed a song.
All that I need is one kid to betray him. At last I'll repay him, and how? I want what's Wonka's. I want those secrets. Scrum diddly, umptious, and Wonka so scrumptious. Gobstoppers or go bust. Give it to me.
That's the problem with, like, you watch Tom and Jerry meet Sherlock Holmes or Robin Hood, and it's interesting because, you know, they can make up their own story. You watch Tom and Jerry and Wizard of Oz in this movie, and the pacing is horrible, because you gotta then condense that story to make room for all the wacky Tom and Jerry shenanigans.
All offers shall become null and void, etc., etc., etc. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. And to make matters worse, you allowed a cat into my factory.
Is there any way that Cat Sose can get a paycheck other than these movies?
I'm Tuffy. I'm an Oompa Loompa intern.
Who is like Tom, no, Jerry's, pardon me. I always get those two confused. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to say that, I always wanted to call the mouse Tom and the cat Jerry. Because I like Tom as a better name for, I don't know, I just like Tom as a better name. Sorry, Jerry's. But anyway, she plays that, and she puts her all into these roles. She's, like, really good.
Not a speck of light is showing, so the danger must be growing. Are the fires of hell a-glowing? Is the Grizzly Reaper mowing?
Especially liked her performance when she played Tuffy in the Sherlock Holmes one. That was a really good performance by her.
Don't be expecting me to go into that snake pit of dancing and laughter and rowdy merrymaking. Whoa! Unless you really need me.
On one hand, I can look at this cynically and say that this is like literally just putting, like mixing a bunch of these properties just to get a quick cash grab. I mean, it's not even like an original story like they're doing with the like WWE wrestlers, where they meet the Jetsons and the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo twice, I think. On the other hand, I can't help but look and see that a bunch of animators are having fun coming up with these like goofy expressions. The voice actors are just kind of, having fun working with this classic movie, so it's playtime for them. That's one thing about the Teen Titans Go, is I can't really get mad at it, because every time you talk to the voice actors, they say, oh, well, this is playtime for us. And it's like, well, okay, I can't get... Greg Sykes, my precious little surfer boy, I can't get mad at you now. Yeah, I tell you, you know what, if you want to do something, if they really want to do something and have a challenge, then do Tom and Jerry meets Dr. Dolittle. How's that, huh? Because that was a flop when it came out. Was it a flop? I don't know. I remember watching Dr. Dolittle and having fun with it. And, that would be interesting since Tom and Jerry are animals, but they still don't talk. They don't, actually make mouse and cat noises. So that would actually be interesting. Maybe Dr. Dolittle would, keep them as specimens, being like, why don't they make any noises? Why don't they talk to me, the one person that can talk to animals? Just a thought. This whole thing is better than, say, the Emoji Movie, which is purely cynical, which I've seen every reviews, every complaint I've seen about it is how they stop the movie and do commercials for, a Candy Rush, or Candy Crush, pardon me, Candy Rush is something different, or Facebook, or something like that, how it's just purely just like a sellout movie. This is a sellout movie, but it's a sellout movie where people get to have a fun, goofy time and walk away with a paycheck at the end of it. Which is actually more than I can say about some of the other rip-off projects I've worked on.
In cars. In cars. In cars.